Hello, welcome to the Moon Scarab channel. My name is Ramon. On this video, I want to talk about a topic that affects all of us. Mugs. It doesn't matter if you're a fan of Star Wars, Harry Potter, Disney, tarot, Wicca, whatever it is. We all have at least one mug that reflects something we really enjoy. If you drink coffee or tea, which most of us do, mugs are one of the first things we see in the morning. When we pick a mug at a store, we don't reason much about it, but I think that in the back of our minds, we want to start the day with something that we enjoy and brings us a smile. In my case, I have many mugs related with different esoteric topics, and before I accidentally break any of them, which I do sometimes, I want to share them with you, okay? Let's get started.
All right, let's start with this beautiful mug of the Buddha. I like this mug a lot. I really don't use it just because it's so nice. I'm always concerned that it's gonna break. Who was the Buddha? So his name was Siddhartha Gautama, most commonly referred to as the Buddha, who was a wandering ascetic and religious teacher who lived in South Asia during the 6th and 5th centuries before Christ, and the founder of Buddhism. A couple of centuries after his death, he came to be known by the title Buddha, which means the awakened one or the enlightened one. And what do Buddhists believe? Buddhists believe that the human life is one of suffering and that meditation, spiritual and physical labor, and good behavior are the ways to achieve enlightenment or nirvana. How many people practice Buddhism? It's estimated that about 506 million people practice Buddhism around the world. That's about 6% of the human population. I like this mug a lot. It's like drinking from the mind of the Buddha. Not to be disrespectful, but it's a beautiful mug. And every time I see it, it inspires peace. I actually have a few Buddha figures around the house, especially in my patio. I have 2 of them under the tree. So yeah, that's this mug. Let's go to the next one. The eye. The eye is a universal symbol that has roots in different cultures and locations all around the world. References to the eye can be found as early as ancient Mesopotamia, over 5,000 years ago on clay tablets. In ancient Egypt, the all-seeing eye was known as the Eye of Ra, or the Eye of Horus. They were symbols of protection, healing, and restoration. The right eye of Horus was said to be the sun, and his left eye the moon. Now the Greeks, around the 6th century before Christ, and still today, has the symbol of the eye embedded in their culture. In today's Greek culture, the eye is called the kakomati, or the famous evil eye, which is essentially a symbol to deter wicked energy that a person can transmit to another. But let's not go that far. In Christianity, there's the Eye of Providence, which is a very important symbol in the Christian iconography. It represents the eye of God that watches over humanity. Now, very close to the symbol of the eye, let's see this mug. In the Mediterranean and the Middle Eastern cultures, we have the Hamsa, also known as the hand of Fatima in Islam and the hand of Miriam in Judaism. In India, it's known as the Hamsa hand. All 3 names represent the same symbol. It's a palm-shaped symbol with an eye in the center, and we all seen it in the form of amulets, charms, and wall hangings. I actually have a lot of Hamsas around the house. I had them in the patio, in different parts of the house, in my car, in my keychain. I have one around my neck. I just love the symbol. I love what it represents. I just love the aesthetic of the Hamsa. I've always had. It's a beautiful, beautiful symbol, and then somehow it represents me. All right, next up, the moon. I love the moon. My channel's name actually has to do with the moon. The moon is amazing. It's part of humanity, and it has a direct effect on Earth, on ourselves. And think about it. Our world would be very different if we didn't have the moon. Let's talk a few facts about the moon. So the moon is, as we all know, Earth's natural satellite. It takes 27.3 days for the moon to travel all the way around Earth. The moon is a lot smaller than the sun. They both look similar in our sky, but the sun is 400 times bigger, but it's also 400 times further away than the moon. So they look about the same size. That's why when there's an eclipse, they both fit perfectly. Our moon controls the tides. The moon and Earth exert a gravitational pull on each other, which causes the waves to rise. and the moon is the only place beyond Earth where humans have set foot. I don't know if you guys know, but the moon is getting further away. The moon started out around 10 times closer to the Earth than it is right now, and it's still moving further away by about 3.78 centimeters every year. That's roughly the same rate at which your fingernails grow. But besides these facts, the moon is extremely special to all of us, especially to us who practice any form of esoteric arts. So it makes sense to me to have a mug with the moon. This one part of the moon is actually funny. It says, "The moon made me do it." The moon's name came from the Romans, called Luna. So it's a she. Talking about she, let's take a look at the next mug. Here we have Santa Muerte, Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, or Our Lady of the Holy Death, often shortened as Santa Muerte. She's a cult image of female deity and a folk saint in Mexican Catholicism and Mexican neo-paganism. She's the personification of death. She's associated with healing, protection, and safe delivery to the afterlife by her devotees. Many people are freaked out by her appearance, but she's just like any other saint, except she doesn't have skin. So her appearance is one of a skeleton. I like Santa Muerte. She's, I'm not a necromancer or a goth or deal with any type of dark arts. And she's not any of those things. I do admire her iconography and what she represents. I'm going to do a future video on Santa Muerte and talk about her to clear many misconceptions about her, because this topic is one that I find really fascinating. All right, let's move on. Next is about the zodiac sign of Gemini. I'm a Gemini, also an ascendant in Gemini. When we're talking about ascendant, that's your rising sun. But not only I'm Gemini, ascendant in Gemini, I also have my Mars, my Venus, and my Saturn in Gemini, which is very interesting. My first house is in Gemini too. Anyway, so it makes sense to have a Gemini mug, right? All right, let's talk about this mug, Yin and Yang. The Yin and Yang is a Chinese philosophical concept that describes opposites but interconnected forces. Both are necessary forces that create balance of everything around us. The black part is called the yin. It's considered dark, the night, cold, weak, retreating, winter, passive, asleep, and quiet. The white side is called yang, which is light, day, it's hot, it's strong, it's advancing, it's summer, it's active, awake, it's loud. And I personally don't agree with the assignment of male or female attributes to any side. We all, regardless of our concept of gender, have a balance of both. Otherwise, it wouldn't apply to us. If everything in this universe has yin and yang, then this is my opinion, the concept of assigning a gender to one side or the other excludes the other side. So if you consider yourself a male, you definitely have both to be balanced. So I discard that. I discard the fact that the feminine has to be considered as weak, retreating, quiet. That is not true. We all have both sides. It's the balance of one or the other. What do the small black and white circle means? Have you ever asked that? In all yin, there is also yang. And in all yang, there is also yin. The small circles of opposing colors inside the black and white teardrops symbolize that nothing is absolute. In each of the opposing forces, there's a small part of the other. Nothing in the universe or in this life is simply black or white. Each exists in the other. So this is my yin and yang mug. It's a big mug. It's beautiful. This one's funny too. You say witch like it's a bad thing. Isn't this funny? I actually found this the other day at a store close to where I work. It's July, but a lot of stores now are starting to sell Halloween merchandise. Halloween is my favorite time of the year. And I found this mug. I liked its size and I found it funny. So I got it. So I know this is a silly topic, but I hope you enjoyed it. We all have mugs and I'm pretty sure you can relate to this video. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching and blessings to all.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. And click the subscribe button for more future videos about tarot, divination, and other esoteric topics.